This is 100% a test. Um, okay. Okay. Looks like it's actually working. Let me test my audio real quick. Make sure this is what it needs to be. It's good. Okay. Wow. That was a bit of a chore. Welcome tonight, everybody, or welcome to the stream tonight, everybody. We will be doing something a little bit different, as you can probably tell. We will be playing with Lego. So we'll also kind of just be chatting, hanging out. The big thing is we're going to be working on our mock, because there was a little TikTok contest. I don't know if there are any prizes going on there. Sorry, I've got chat over there. So, yeah, so there's a little Lego mock contest going, and I wanted to build felucia. So, for those of you who don't know where felucia is the planet where Ayla Secura died. This one. Okay, so I've got her here. Oh, thank goodness her lightsaber's not missing. I don't know why. A lot of my Jedi's lightsabers have been going missing, and it's really getting on my nerves. So it's kind of unfortunate, but here we are. And I'm also going to be going off of a little bit of memory, but a lot of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 map from the old Star Wars Battlefront 2. So the good old one, if you know what I'm talking about. Those OG Star Wars Battlefront 2 fans out there, they know what I'm talking about. With that, a couple of minifigures I am hoping to showcase in this are a few of my customs. Well, they're all going to be customs, but one is my custom Lego Commander Bly that I made. Yeah, and his visor actually does go down, so in case you were wondering. But yeah, there's that dude. And then just a random heavy trooper that I also wanted to have. Had some yellow paint and some fake, unfortunately they were fake Legos that were sent to me. So I wiped off their paint and painted on something new. So I do have some fake Legos. I say fake Legos, they're custom Legos from China. Some are from US, some are, I'm not going to say too much more because I don't get the people that sold them to me in trouble because of copyright issues. But in their defense and in my defense for buying them, Legos doesn't make them. Still doesn't, never has. So, and you don't see anyone getting mad at Clone Army Customs. So I've got some of these that I'll be using. And yeah, so the big thing is I'll be going off of that Battlefront 2 map. And I will be adding a little bit of extra flair to it, so I am going to add some extra vehicles that weren't in that map, but I'm pretty sure were on felucia, such as these, the spider droid. And then we will also be using an ATTE, just because that was part of that mission. And then we won't be using any of these tanks. I have yet to get some good swamp tanks that I'm happy with, so I don't know if we'll have too many of those either, but this is where we're at. This is what we're going to start with. So, with all that being said, I do have this so I can, go down and show you what I'm working on. But since I don't really have anything right now, I'm just going to keep you up on my face so you've got something. Okay. I need to move those 501st dudes and Jesse and Cody and the Bad Batch that you probably just saw. Oh! No! I lost them. Oh, okay, I'm okay with losing that one. have the characters I'm planning on using over here. Because the number one thing when starting to build a mock is make sure you're organized, which I am not right now. So we're going to do a little bit of organizing. I've got a big old bin here. That I will be using for now. We're just going to do this. And we do want those. And we do want those. So we'll keep those up there. Now, one of the big things that's always hardest for me when building a Lego mock is honestly getting started. I'm always like, I don't know where to start. And I would say I am going to try something a little different tonight. Because normally I would just put a base plate down and start building off of the base plate, which is what I'm going to do. But I'm going to add so much more detail to the ground than I had before. Because part of the problem is I would start building a mock, I'd put the base plate down, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm good, I've got a whole base right here. And that just doesn't provide or doesn't build as good of a mock. So, anyway. My phone is recording, or not recording, but live streaming. So I was gonna say, I'm gonna text my wife asking her to give me some water. So I am gonna start with a base plate, and I'm gonna start with this blue one because I remember distinctly that there was water that you had to cross. Now it wasn't quite this color of blue; it was more of a blue-green. So I'm gonna try and emulate that as best I can, but we'll see kind of how this goes. Basically what I want to do is take this base plate and put, all these extra blue-green parts on there, put some clear parts on top of that with some straight blue, with some straight green parts, all that good stuff, and then translucent blue parts on top of green parts to give kind of that nice blue-green color, which I know my phone is terrible, so you probably can't see what I'm saying anyway, but it's the thought that counts. So that's where I'm going to start with this mock, and I'm going to warn you, don't expect, this is actually a Mega Block part, so it probably won't do much. Don't expect have this mock done tonight because it just won't happen. And I turned my notifications off. YouTube, go away. I don't want your notifications right now. I'm streaming. Yeah. So don't. And here's another thing a lot of newbies make a mistake of. Hello. Hi. Would you mind bringing me some water?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Here's this.
Thank you. How did it go?
I ran out of measuring tape.
I ran out of measuring tape. Oh, yeah, for the long side it probably wouldn't take them away. Bye-bye, baby. Bye-bye. Yeah, where are you going? This just gave me an idea. I'm probably going to use one of these as a little forward operating base. Thank you. And then...
Let's go watch a movie, little lady.
Are you wanting some?
Yeah, she drank tub water and then pulled all the towels in the tub. Including the hand towels. Come on.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's go.
Love you.
Baby.
I need you a little bit closer. Mwah. There you are.
Come on.
Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye. No. If you didn't say anything.
Yes. What are you doing? Really? Are you supposed to be in here helping me build? Alright. Love you.
Come on.
Go watch a movie with Mama.
Let's go watch a movie. Hey. Baby, come on. Bye. Bye. Come on. Come on. Come on. Watch out. Let's go.
Okay. Another thing we're going to be wanting is a lot of green and brown and just natural parts. But one of the cool things about felucia is they've also got some really colorful plants as well. So don't be afraid to throw in some bright yellows, especially for felucia. So really just make sure that it matches the mock, it matches the area that you want it to. I have a few parts I'm going to use here. And what I want from this base plate is I want to kind of start with the water first. Because if I don't start with the water first, and I don't have a terrible lot of translucent parts, so that might mess me up a little bit here tonight. And then I want to get to also like the seashore colors, the wet sand kind of colors, things like that as well. I've got all these things down here. So, we got our base plate. I'm going to start finding some more sand pieces like this so we can start working on our water, and then where the water starts transitioning into the ground of felucia. I've got a lot of my minifigs out already for it. So yeah, we'll see how this kind of goes, and ask any questions you have. This is going to be relatively a free build, so if it looks really bad, sorry. We'll see how it goes. One set I am going to be using, just for its great use of colors as reference, is this from Moana with Tafiti. I think it's a great transition with the yellows, the pinks, and really just using that more colorful side of things, which is what I really think we need to have on some of the plants in felucia, because the more colorful the plant, the deadlier the plant. And as you know, the plants killed a lot of the clones. Maybe you know, as many fans know, the plants killed a lot of clones in felucia. So we want to get some of that going, and lots of browns, other kinds of tans, colors like that. So what I'm going to do is I need some smaller pieces, see if we can't get an outline going. And I would recommend being more organized than this, because I'm absolutely just not organized right now. If you want to see, I'm literally running a big bucket of Legos, and that's it. Like, I mean, I'm not doing a whole lot extra tonight. Organizational wise. Now, I'm not what you would call a Lego purist, and what that means is I'm a huge fan of name brand Lego, but I do have Mega Blocks, especially for like the Halo, because Lego didn't own Halo, never had the rights to Halo, but I still wanted some Halo. So I do have Mega Blocks. I also buy, oh, you know what, I'm going to need to find one of those tools. these are very useful when doing free builds. Highly recommend having them around. But like for instance, this big old bin of Legos, I got it at a thrift store. It was like $20, so it was a huge stockpile of Legos. So yeah, anyway. Okay. So we're gonna kind of start fleshing out a little bit of this. That might be too chewed up to eat. No, too chewed up to eat. Too chewed up to use. I mean, sorry, I misspoke there. Okay, and then I do want a little bit more of a radical turn there. So just make a couple studs at a time. Do something more like that. Okay, so let me show you a little bit of what I'm doing. Call me the Bob Ross of Legos. No, I'm just kidding. So I've started grabbing out some tan pieces. This is what I'm using. And literally all I'm going to do is I want to outline where the water is. And I probably won't get to use this piece because it's just too big, too long. I don't want that straight of a, see, like this is a mega block piece. I won't use this in this build, but just saying I have them. But I don't want too straight of a line in any given point of this build, because if I have that, you know what, we might make a little fork here. How does that sound? Where we also have the river going a little bit that way, you know? Maybe that's still an awfully long stretch for it to be going straight. So I run out of the little tan pieces that I need. I mean, I've got a few more, but they're not quite what I'm looking for. So we're gonna go digging for a little bit more. Okay, these pieces are phenomenal for building mocks. It gives you that nice smooth finish. This I would recommend saving for the top, for the surface, because you can put, you know, say a couple of plants on this piece, and then it leaves that nice smooth finished top, so it looks very intentional for the mock. That is one of my things that I've struggled with in my mock builds, is I leave an awful lot of, oh look, we got another long thingamajigger, now. By the way, if anyone is hard of hearing, I said thingy. The word is majigger because it's a jig. I don't know where I got that from. Honestly, I have no idea. But here's a great example of a piece that I would want, especially in a situation like this. I'm going to use it right here. I'm thinking we're going to go like this so we can have the river just go straight off into this corner right here. Then we can tie it off, have that be done. Okay. At this point, since we know that it's going to be finishing right there, we could potentially put a few bricks down if we wanted, but I'd rather keep them flat surface pieces, so we could potentially put a nice little finishing piece like that on top, have it look like maybe some waterside lilies, something like that. I also want to have this be built up too before it's already a brick and a base plate thick. So we're not going to quite do that just yet, so we're going to hold off on those. One thing I can do though, and I think I'm going to, is I am going to put these two right here. And the reason why I'm going to put these right here, if you can see it, is because I can cover these up. There's going to be a few more bricks thicker where I could, you know, put this on there for future. I want it, actually, yeah, you know what? No, I'm going to put that right there because that is kind of how thick I want the water, as I wanted it at that 6 to 8, usually at any given point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build off from this stud right here, and I'm going to try and hit this stud or this stud right here. And that's my next step in this, okay? So we're going to do that. And while you're building any big brown pieces like this, don't be afraid of using big pieces, but I would just recommend don't just put them on like a regular piece. Use them in something creative, like put them up sideways as the side of a tree, or just something like that. And eventually we will be doing a little bit of ATTE building, because I've got this full ATTE that I'm eventually planning on having in this mock. Right now we're just starting with the water, and then I will pull out these larger green base plates I have back here, or potentially some of the tan sand plates that I have to increase the size of this. But mostly what I wanted to have this in either one of the corners or just something so I can have that water, get it knocked out, get it out of the way, and have it be done. With this, I think I'm going to go and put this bad dude right here so we can fill in a nice spot, and start building up from the shoreline. Because as you're playing the old Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original one, not the new one, but the old, like 2008 one, I think. They did have it go down, had a little ravine, and then build back up. So, I hope I don't get copyright struck for that. The wife is playing piano with the baby. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. FBI comes bursting in. You thought wrong, son. Okay, so I need some more tan parts. So here we go. Here's some good ones. Again, great toppers. I would say try and save as many of these as you can for the top. Set those to the side in a place where you'll be able to find them easily enough, and get it going again. Wow, I'm having to really dig for tan. I was thinking I'd had more tan pieces than this. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one like that. Actually, I've changed my mind on this one. I'm going to rotate it. We're going to go that way. Alright. And then we can put one last one by whatever right there to finish it off. And have that be done. Here we are. Here's a nice little 1x4. Boom. We're just going to put it on like that. Now, here's what we want to do. Now we want to get this side filled in, and we want to kind of complete this going out this way, and then we need to start filling in the rest of it. Okay? As we get deeper in, or farther away from the water, so deeper inland, we can then start using the bricks. Okay? Don't want to start using them too early, because if you put them like right here on the shoreline, that's like, all right, that's the sheer drop off. I would say let's put them at least back this far, just so that way you can have a nice slope going down, and it's not too terribly powerful, I guess, against the thing. I'm going to probably put that one right there. A little something. Oh, sure. You know what? I can could even be something like this, you know? See, now that makes that a little bit hard of a corner. I'm not sure I like that. So I'm actually going to go ahead and pull those two. Let's see, I've already got the dinks in that one. So there we go. So we will hold off on that. I might move it, put it as a piece like that for a little bit later on. I don't know. Who knows? I do kind of want to use my slanting parts going into this as much as possible. Maybe using it over here would work a little better. The main thing is you want it to look as natural as possible. You don't want it to be super blocky. You don't want it to be methodical necessarily. You want it to look fluid. Like water has eroded that area. That's basically what you're going for. Okay, so here's some more tan bricks. Those will come in handy later on. Now don't worry about me using up all my tan bricks, because it's probably going to happen. But that's kind of why I'm starting here at the waterfront first. Yeah, let's do that. And then there's a hand in there. I don't think it's even an actual Lego hand. I think this is a knockoff hand. Oop. It's a knockoff or a Mega Block or something. I don't know if you can see that or not, but anyway. So, oh, see, now this one has a sticker on it. So I don't know if I'm going to get to use this one unless I use it as maybe a rusted piece of something or something that maybe that sticker actually helps it look a little better for the seaside, for the, not seaside, but this little creek running through here. It's not going to work for those, unfortunately. And those are Mega Blocks, so not that I can't use those, just don't really want to at this time. Okay, so I don't necessarily want to cut it off that bad. I'm wondering if we should... Yeah, I think we could do that. Have it be a little bit narrower here. Maybe put a brick or two going this way. And then we can start filling in that back area. And then we do need to finish off these two sides going back here still. So remember that. You see, now here I have another one, but I can use it like this. See, so I'm able to use it to fill in just a hair there. Ooh, yeah, all right. You know, that one's a little bit, so I think I'm gonna swap this one and this one. Just because it's a little bit long, a little bit straight of a line, kind of like, I don't want to say lazy, but it is kind of a, ooh, nope, that made it look lazier and worse. If we did that, then that would leave it as a run of 4 left, maybe. I think that's a little bit of waste of that 2x6 there, if we were to do it that way. So I might be able to... No, I think we're going to hold on to this 2x6, give it a little bit more it a little bit more time. Could do something more like that. So that's a little bit much still too. And then we could get maybe a piece of wood or something artificial that wasn't originally part of it, fell in here. This could be the start of one of our broken down ATTEs, because we did want, or I do want some of that. So keep that in mind too. What are you looking for at the end of this? You know, are you looking to have rusted ATTE parts? But another thing to keep in mind is if it is an artificial part, you'll probably want it at an angle or something like that, not just flat on there, okay? So, hold off on any final decisions with that just yet. How's everybody doing tonight? Everyone doing all right? We could totally do something like that though. All right, let's see. That'll be a good little wood something or other. Okay, here's some more nice tan parts. I don't know if I'm going to use that necessarily. Another sticker piece. So probably Morgie Boo redeemed Make Me Scream Legos. All right. Legos! A little bit hoarse tonight. Unfortunately, I need to drink some more water, eh? Need to find a better part to put all those. I think I am going to pull this one up just to see if that littler one, that little piece there would work. Just to help fill in that corner. I guess it would a little bit, but it kind of causes this awkward little square. I don't know. It's a little funky. Halfway more inclined to just put it right there, you know? Put our little 1x2 back. So. Alright, yeah, we're going to try that. What I am going to attempt to do, I don't know if this is going to work, so if there are any mock builders that know better than I, because I know there's many out there, see, this is a nice little tan computer. Not sure if I want to take that apart. Look at this little thing. That's kind of cool. Yeah, we'll set that one to the side. I don't necessarily want to ruin that. But what I'm going to attempt to do with this mock is I'm going to try and build one side at a time. Or one square at a time. So I'm going to try and do this square, and do the next square, and the next square, and just kind of do it a little bit more methodically, like that. So we'll see kind of how that goes. Another reason I want to do it like that is because sometimes, not sometimes, always, I have a bad habit of planning a really big, elaborate mock. I like to imagine big, massive mocks when I'm making them. And part of the problem with that is I will get super excited about this big grand mock, and then I'll start on it, and it won't go well. And what I mean by that is I will only have maybe like the riverbed done, or I'll get a few things on there, and then I get discouraged, and I'm just kind of like, well, you know what, forget this, I don't want to do this anymore, and I want to stop.
Night.
Is it night-night time? Alright.
Yeah, it's early, but it's gonna be.
Night-night.
Misbehaving.
Oh, someone's cranky, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Love you. So I found some more in a little organizational kit that I forgot I even had, so organize your stuff, kids. Try and remember what you got. Okay. So there's kind of a rough idea for our little riverbed here. So now fill in this side, fill in this side. The farther away we get from the shores, the less the color matters, because that's going to be covered up. As you can see, I've already got some parts out that will eventually be, you know, for instance, like that, covering all those things up. Obviously that's too even, so I probably won't be doing that per se, but I think you get the point. So we'll be putting things on like there. Want to do something maybe back here. Just some stuff to get a nice slanted feel going down from the different spots. Now, so for this, I'm probably going to make this a base of a tree. So to fill in under here, I am okay, well, I say I'm okay putting this gray piece and then I'm actually not. These brown pieces is what I need to fill in with. So what we need to do, we get this bad dude like right there. And it's okay to have empty gap spaces, especially on a mock, because sometimes you just got to do it that way in order to have a good easy enough to use area, basically. Because like I'm not filling in every little stud. Like I'm not going to go and find little gold studs to fill in every way if I know that it's already going to be supported enough with the bricks that are already going to be there, if that makes sense. So I'll be looking for some more brown pieces, curved brown pieces, some brown pieces like that, good. Now another thing to remember is everything's funny shaped on felucia. So most things are going to go, especially when it comes to the plant life. You don't get too crazy about it, but have some fun. I think that's part of the reason I wanted to go with this kind of a build, is so that way I could kind of explore a little bit more. And then, okay, so you see how we're already here. I'm going to actually fill in this bit with some bricks, because then we can cover those bricks with grass, trees, leaves, a few other things. That'll really just make this look a lot nicer. And because it's all the way here, you know, I wouldn't necessarily do anything extreme like that to get a curve, but you want to get some sort of a step down into the water type feel going. Okay. Also doing snot techniques, so studs not on top. always a good idea. We're going to hold off on building that tree just quite yet. Now, I don't necessarily want to take apart part of my gun chips. So what I'll probably do is make or gun chips or ATTEs or ATPTs. So we will probably be getting parts like this and building little parts of them and having them on different parts of the MOCs, because there were a lot of broken down machines out there in felucia just because they were not ready for the harsh environment. They just weren't really ready. A lot of clones died to sickness, which I found kind of unfortunate, but also a little bit strange to me that their general, Ayla Secura, was running around in, not much. She didn't have any protective gear or anything like that. So I think that was kind of I'm a force user. I'm susceptible to these things. Which is, that's obviously wrong. Anyone who knows Ayla's personality, that wasn't it at all. But part of the tragedy that is Ayla Secura and her men was she actually was, and I don't know if this is canon, but I heard this, and it kind of makes sense to me. But she was actually in love with Commander Bly, who was the commander of the Legion she was in charge of. And some of the people were like, well, does that really add up, though? Because they were vicious to her and taking her out. And I think, and I'm sure I'm joined in this by several other fanatics and things like that, or people that believe this theory, that Bly, in fact, commanded them to be so ferocious and take her out so wholeheartedly, is because he didn't want her to suffer. He wanted her to die quickly. And so some people say that was his love for her somewhat overriding his pre-programming. I don't know. I think it's a tragedy either way. Order 66 was really just not a good thing. I think everyone can agree on that, for sure. So yeah, that's one of the running theories. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. I'd love to know what you guys think, and if you think that's accurate or not. Why or why not? That's what I would ask. See, I don't remember if there were ruins or not on felucia, but if there were, this would be some good ruins material for sure. I think I want that going up the tree somehow or another. But I'm getting distracted. I'm focusing on the one part a little too much, so I need to go ahead and refocus on some of these areas, filling these out, because I need another couple of layers here. This side is probably good, so I'm probably good to start filling this backside, because you see how much thicker it is versus the little, just one stud lining we have there. So that side's probably alright to go ahead and start filling in with miscellaneous colors, greens, blues, reds, grays, things like that. Probably fine at this point. Go ahead and do. So do that we shall. Just gonna kind of put this one here. Oh, broken down walkers, not just ATTs, but STs, I think. The little lightning walkers absolutely would be a good thing to have flushed out just a hair for sure. So this might be another reason to build in sections like this. Start with just one section and build it out first. Is what happens when life happens, you get tired, you get busy, and you're not able to finish the other sections that you were hoping to. You know, for instance, I'm not going to be able, if something happens, I guess I should say, I'm not going to necessarily be able to put on my ATTE that I have set out here, you know, things like that. So if you notice, one thing I am going to do right over here is I'm actually going to go ahead and start building that little forward command post right here, because I know that that part's going to be elevated up off the ground. I'm going to go ahead and start putting down my support bricks right here. So as I get a panel that's a little bit bigger than this, probably about this size, I'm going to put that on there. I'm probably going to do it with a gray panel. And have that. I don't know if I'm going to do something like this drastic, but it's definitely going to be something set up where there are steps going up. And you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I will do something that drastic. Just because, why not? It's obviously going to be a foreign, different thing that doesn't necessarily belong here in Felucia. Excuse me. I do have a lot of these, so I'm probably going to use these to fill in a little bit over here in the back. So it'll be a little bit floating. But another reason to do this is if you do get another section, you can very easily go and put on some of these, so you can just connect the next base plate to it and build off where you left off. Okay, so that's why I do recommend on whatever side you're planning on continuing the mock. So I already know I'm not going to continue it on this side or most likely this corner. I want this to be the top corner of it, mostly because I don't want to keep focusing on the water, because I'm already going to have to figure out a lot of translucent blue pieces for it, and potentially some translucent green pieces to give it kind of that blue-green feel, and I just don't have a lot of those. So always keep in mind what pieces you have and don't have, because you know your collection better than most. So I'd definitely say keep things like that in mind for sure when doing these types of things. So let's just kind of look at this. Okay, so if we did that, and then we will need some, like, probably some tan or green fill in there. But the cool thing about this is, let me see some tan pieces, is if we were to build, you know, the tan pieces around this, that would make it look like it's been here a while, so it kind of, you know, shows off that the siege has been going for a while. It's not necessarily a new thing. That's just getting started or anything like that. It's been going. So, and I might be inclined to do something like that. I do need to cover up that bit there. Yeah, so let's, maybe I won't have that piece necessarily right there, but moving it forward. See, that still leaves it. Yeah, alright. Probably won't be using this piece right there at all. And this is why you want to have one of these always. Okay. 'Cause, 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 The main thing is we don't want the fill-in colors at this point to be blue. We need them to be contrasting. The steps are definitely going to be this color of gray here. So I could totally start setting those up, leading up to set pavilion. So the way I'm picturing it, this thing's going to be like an up and over. So the pavilion will be a little bit recessed behind underneath this. So this should be almost like a step down into it, maybe? No, that wouldn't work because the big old piece is going to be there. And I wonder. Question is, do we want it to be, yeah, probably flat to it. We don't want it to be where they have to step up and over and then go drop back down into it, you know. So we probably will leave it right at that height. Ooh, I do have this as a nice big round piece. That we are probably going to use this one. What I'm wondering, is there any way we can totally get this a little bit closer in, have it be the third step rather than having it march up to the third step and boom. We can just put that on right there for our forward command post. Now, under my steps, I do need some more support, so I need a few pieces here. I can't just leave them hanging like that. It won't go well. It won't be sturdy the way I want it to be. So, what I'm going to do is we'll just kind of grab some of these filler pieces here. Doesn't matter what color they are. Just as long as there's something. You know, that's the big thing. To make sure that there's something down there. Because if it's just standing on air, it's not going to look good. Okay, so we're going to throw this bad dude on there. So we've got our steps. Flip this over. Bada bing, bada boom. What do you guys think? Is that starting to look like a forward command deck? Guess if we put some command on there, right? Probably what we need. So, okay, and then we could even put a little table in the center. So I do like the way this is turning out. I'm thinking we're gonna have to change this, pull this out, and see. I could put it here, but I'm halfway wondering if I should look like, you know, for another one of these, if we could get something similar to match that style. See, if this was black, that would be perfect, but it's the wrong color. It's tan. It doesn't match as well. So let's see what we have here. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a round piece like that. Oh my goodness, I found another one. Okay, I do, oh, see, that puts it off the side. So I'm thinking we might take this whole thing, move it a few studs that way, so that way we can fit this on, maybe put another set of stairs. I want things to be as uniform as possible. Because this is a military, it's a military base, so it needs to kind of look the part. Might be a thrown together forward command station, but it's still a forward command station, dang it. And it needs to have the equipment as such. So, I think so. I think we're going to do that. Let's take this bad dude. I know I'm gonna like retcon most of what I just did here. Here's my tool. Here's my tool. Always have a tool. Because especially when doing this kind of build, you just have to, you don't have much of a choice. Now, what I am going to do is, because I know I'm going to have stairs like this in between, I'm actually going to go ahead and rotate it since I've already made these stairs, so I have the correct spacing for these to go here. Alright, so we gotta tear up some of our supports here because they're in the way just a little bit. And I'm going to put a spacer on this just so it's at the right level as well. Alright. And you know, that almost looks good just having it be 2 steps rather than 3. I had it at 3, but I'm debating on changing that because having it at 2 gives it that nice little bit more recessed look that I'm liking. I'm liking it a lot. Okay, I'm getting distracted though. Okay, so I guess that would still only be 2 steps up from the ground, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. And if that was there, it would fit another one perfectly. So if we did find 4, we would be able to make a full 4 section. So we are going to go with that. I'm going to put this green bean right here. You know what? That kind of needs to be... That needs to be almost a top-ready piece. Crap. So putting that command back there. Yeah, that does need to be that. Getting a little bit too nitty gritty when I still need to finish up some of these other items. Dang it, I moved it. Why did I do that to myself? Well, that seems like a decent idea. We totally do that. Rotate the stairs back and make only 1 set of stairs. Wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. Hard to say. Then, if we did something like this, that would be an okay idea. So we can attach both of these on here. I'd be alright with that. So we've got this somewhat set up. I'm going to set it to the side because we do need to get more of this filled in first before we can put this back on there. So. I know it kind of looks all ugly and sandy right now. Kind of unfortunate. Not for long. Ah. I love when I can make things a little more uniform, even when they're not, necessarily required to be. Love it. So I just need one more of those. Good. Hope we don't break this chair. It's a really nice chair. So I can't have nice things. It is one of the older gray pieces versus one of the newer gray pieces. It's a little unfortunate. Okay. Oh. So, we totally change out these. Since that does change. That portion of the build, fundamentally, we did something like that. Something like that. Halfway wondering if we should just put it right there. Dang it, I have a magic tool and I'm still leaving dinks in my Legos. I hate that. Rawr. Okay. there. Let's mark that. We could actually move this more center. That could be the beginning. And we just put the next step up on there when we have it. We can put that one there for the next one. All that good stuff. Cool. Progress. Yeah, that's pretty much a summary of free building and everything, guys. You know, I know it's not super glamorous by any means, but it's a lot of fun when you get into it. And part of this is also me just trying to be able to connect better with you guys in the community. You know, because I've noticed that when I'm just in games, I get sucked in a little bit, you know, and I miss out on some of the chat, and I miss that people are here and things like that, so people will ask me a question and I'll totally miss it. I don't necessarily want to do that, you know? Guess you could consider this a not so glamorous update video on the project. Something like that, probably. So, Locust, what is up? Is that a stage, a street? No, so I am actually going to be building a Lego felucia. This is going to be a forward command center. I'm going to have this on there with a little bit of hologram stuff going on. But these are some of the minifigs right here that'll be on. It's not 100% attached. I'm still building out the bottom part, but we'll have some of this going on. So it's going to be a Star Wars Lego felucia build. And then I'll be using my custom clone Commander Bly. Actually made this one myself. But yeah, that's what we're going to be building here. This is night one, so this is me just putting in the foundation right now. This is going to be a little creek that runs alongside of it. This is more of just an outline. I still have to flesh out all of this, putting down base plates and things like that to get it going. So, but yeah, welcome. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I'm hoping to make it a lot bigger. I've got more tan and green base plates I can add to this one, but I'm starting with just this one to get it started, so I don't get too flustered. And then I'm hoping to include just like the ATTE in it, some spider droids and some extra things. And then I've got some pretty fun stuff planned out for the plant life. I just haven't gotten that quite far. I just looked it up on YouTube and it's huge. Yes. So Felucia is a pretty big planet. I'm starting with a very small section right now. So we'll see how it goes. One thing I have to keep in mind is I've only got about 20 of these guys, just because the customs are a little expensive. So I've only got 20 of the felucia guys, and then of course I've got Ayla Secura, because she needs to be there, of course, because she's the commander, or the general, excuse me. But yeah, so you're just kind of jumping in. I need more panels for. Oh, you know what? That's about it. I could totally use some of these for the stick. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. You know, we'll see. One of the things that really appeals to me about felucia is we haven't seen a felucia done before, and I really think we're missing out on it, or at least I haven't seen it. I always wanted Legos, but they are so expensive. They really are. They really are. I am actually literally working out of a tub over here. Let me loosen this so I can actually turn it. So I'm actually working out of a Lego tub over here, and I found this at a thrift store, or my brother did, I guess I should say, and he brought it over, bought it for me, and then I paid him back for it, and it was only $20 for the whole thing. So the base plate and obviously the minifigs weren't part of the tub, but I'm trying to do this mock 100% out of the tub of just extra Legos, and we'll see how it goes. I might have to pull extra parts and things, because like it's terribly unorganized. I'm gonna have to get something lined up for it eventually, but for now it's been pretty good. I can't complain. So yeah, how's your day been, Locust? Reference. I'm wondering if I should put, and you know what, Locust, you could totally chime in on this. I'm wondering if I should put some like wood planks here, or some brown pieces. I'm halfway tempted to say no and say they would have metal at that point, but it's been good. I'm like 2 classes behind in schoolwork. Oh shoot, that's no fun. Are you planning on getting caught up over the weekend? That's what I would recommend doing. Weekends were amazing when I was still in school. I might be again soon. Who knows? I'm open to options potentially. I've graduated high school, obviously, already. Did some college, but anyway. Weekends are definitely amazing. I love weekends. They're great for that type of predicament, for sure. I would just say jump on it now. Wood looks nice, and yes, weekends are great, and online school sucks. Yeah, I agree with that. Fortunately, I wasn't forced into online school, but I actually did, I actually did online school for a little bit, and I want to say it was my freshman year? No. Yeah, it was my 8th grade year. Freshman or 8th grade year, one of the two. And I did an online school, online. It was weird. It was an online public school, but they called it homeschooling, but it really was just school at home. And so it was rough. I do not loathe at all what you guys are going through. In fact, I really feel bad for you guys, because it's not an optimal learning environment at all, and I think that's a major disservice that we're doing to this next generation, saying, look, you're gonna have to do this, rather than giving the students the choice. That's what I would do. I would leave it up to the parents and up to the students, because that's what it needs to be. It needs to be up to you guys if that's how you want to proceed, or if you want to do something a little different. Because ultimately, it's your guys' risk. It's, I don't know. I'm a huge advocate for being able to choose for oneself. On the other hand, it's also a balancing act, because I'm also a huge advocate for not taking away someone else's right for life, liberty, and property. But I'm a little older, so it's not that bad. I feel bad for the kids K through 8. That's fundamental education they need in life. Right. And that's 100% true. Because that's when they're learning basic arithmetic, which you need to count money and things like that. High school, I kind of felt like high school was a little bit of a waste. But I don't know. I was always a little different than your normal average high schooler. I did do a lot of like extracurriculars. Had fun doing those. But I would definitely say it would be way harder to do K through 8 online. Although some of our younger kids, man, you guys never cease to amaze me with how intelligent you kids are. When I say kids, I mean 18 and under. Just with how things are and how they've been this last couple of months, for sure. Let's see. I'll put this one back so I can see where everything needs to be, and that one's offset by a little bit. This one's off. Oh, and that one's off too. Man, I'm just switching up parts left and right. I need. Ugh. So what grade are you in then, Locust? Are you in? Obviously, you're in high school, so that's good. Are they still doing PE in high school? Is that still a thing? Like, I know when I was growing up, they were like, you have to do PE, otherwise you're going to be, fat and stuff when you're older. And I was like, okay. And now I'm older and I'm fat anyway. I feel lied to. In all seriousness, though. No, I thought PE was fun. I did football and track and all that good stuff in high school anyway. So, I mean, I probably would have done that anyway. Okay, freshmen, it feels like every grade is getting smarter. Even first graders are super smart. I know, right? That's so... It's kind of crazy. And... but good at the same time. They kind of have to be now, But yeah, I agree. It's kind of crazy. One thing I will say though, and I don't know if this will spark controversy in my chat or not, but that one show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? That was bull. Not freshman, I meant for sure. Oh, sophomore. Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry. I know we used to call them the freshie men. The freshie men? Yeah. So it was always interesting for the freshmen. So you were a sophomore. Okay, that's good. Good. Sophomore year, I definitely liked sophomore year a lot more than I liked freshman year. Freshman year was rough. And nobody's going to change my mind on Okay, this is almost ready. I think we can permanently put this in for that side because we fleshed out over here. Alright, our command base is permanent. Awesome. But yeah, I mean, it feels like it's kind of a requirement now that the next generation just be smarter, you know. It's getting crazy. Y'all are gonna have to survive the apocalypse. And PE is still there. I'm just joking. I don't know if the apocalypse is coming or not. My thing is, I'm not prepared if zombies started popping up. I'm not sure what I'm thinking about zombies, but seems like a fun topic to talk about. Why not? Okay. Boom, that side's in. So now I'm going to be looking in the bucket for 2 more of these. I don't know if I have 2 more or not. To be honest, I might totally just be sunk and only have a 2-sided thing. But worst comes to worst, I just kind of wall off this side and make it like a little shelter that goes above, you know? They can now clone humans. Yeah, do you know what's creepy? That is kind of creepy, isn't it? My question is, I know they can clone the DNA, and they've got that pretty well worked out. What I'm wondering is, do the clones, like, are they alive? First thing? Do they have emotions or feelings, or like, what are the clones experiencing the second they wake up? You know, or do they wake up as little fetuses and they're grown in a little bottle as babies, kind of like the clones in Clone Wars and Star Wars, you know? Are they like that, or do they just straight out pop out straight humans, like adults, full grown bodies? Because I know they were doing that for a while because they were looking at a pilot program to plant humans' memories and intellects into them. They say they haven't cloned a human, but I don't know if that's true. They've cloned animals. Search up Dolly sheep. Yeah, so Dolly sheep actually happened when I was like 8. So Dolly sheep's been around for a long time. And their babies grow up and look just like an adult. Like the adult they cloned. Yeah. See, so Dolly sheep was actually around when I was a little kid. And I look almost exactly like my father, and it's almost creepy. And so we used to joke that I'm actually a clone of my father. And that's actually part of where the name QWERTY clone comes from. But another thing was that he was actually also a Xerox copy repairman. He would fix Xerox copy machines. And so that was also another thing. And they would say I was like a Xerox copy of him. Just because I guess the cloning term wasn't totally there. And then he and I used to work on computers all the time when I was younger. And a computer tower is called a clone as well. Fun fact for you. If it's one of those regular customizable ones, like the ones that I've got behind me, where it's like a shell. And so that's where the QWERTY came from, is because I used to work on the computers, and that's the first 5 digits on a keyboard. So I don't know if you knew that already. You probably did, since of how much you watch. You probably heard that story before, but I just think it's funny because it was kind of brought up tonight. But I don't know. I guess I'll never really know if I'm just a clone. I relate a lot to the clones though because of that, because of them being like, you know, we all share the same face, but we're individuals, we're different people. I'm kind of like, I can relate to that a lot, because a lot of people are like, oh, you'll just be like your dad, you'll just do the same things your dad did, and to a certain point, they're right. I do a lot of similar things that my dad did and does, but on the other hand, I'm kind of like, I'm my own person, dang it. So, anyway, a little bit of a ramble there. Alright. So, I'm going to plan on finding more of these, but in case I don't, I'm also grabbing more pieces so I can build up a wall and maybe a little, like, shelter. Have you played Detroit and Become a Human? Detroit Become a Human. No, I haven't. That's the one that has several androids that look just like humans, but none of them are allowed weapons, none of them are allowed to harm humans, things like that. But if one malfunctions, you play a character or an AI that has to go after the malfunctioning ones. Is that the right game? Or is that a different game? Oh, that's a big gun. Thinking. Kind of. It's like a pick your own story game, but next level. It's really good. One of the top 5 games is PS4 era. Okay. So it's a role play. It's an RPG where you pick your own story and run around, do quests. I assume you gain equipment and experience and different things like that. Kind of fit that. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm thinking I'm going to put one of the little crash sites here where some of the equipment is left out, since this is right by the command deck. I think I'm going to put some boxes down, some things like that, kind of leaning up on this tree here. We'll have a little bit of that, and make this tree a little bit taller as we go. Nice. Yeah, I haven't. Part of the problem I'm having is I haven't gotten to play a whole lot of games, but I want to. But I'm broke, so it's kind of. Looks really good too. Look up the trailer for it. It's a nice streaming game. Okay. Yes. You know what? Let me pull it up over here on my computer. I've got my phone as my camera right now for streaming. And so I will type it in here so I can take a look at that in a little bit. I'm gonna be off screen just for a second. It's Detroit Becoming Human. Becoming Human. So it's 2017, it looks like. Trailer. So I'm not going to watch it right now just because I don't want to get striked if there's any music. Just to be safe, you know? Let's see. I think this is... think this is the one I'm thinking about. Yeah, it is. Okay. I haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of the gameplay, but I've seen a little bit of it, and it does look pretty good and pretty fun. So I think that would be definitely a good one for streaming for sure. Hopefully I can get a little bit of extra slush funds and get some parts so I can get my PC up and running, because I've been streaming from the Xbox in the past. Are you on a console or are you on a PC gamer? Currently I'm an Xbox gamer. I hope to be back on PC before long, but when my PC got shipped to me, it got damaged. So they actually destroyed the motherboard, I believe, and so I'm gonna have to get a new motherboard and CPU, and then it's probably some new RAM sticks, depending, because my motherboard's a little bit dated. So the new one, I don't know if it's going to be compatible with what I've already got. If it is, awesome. If not, I'm going to have to get some more. But PC is what I hope to be on soon. But Xbox right now. Sad days. It's kind of a temporary patch for me right now. Totally make this look like it was dug out by the clones. So I definitely think it'll be cool. It was a PS exclusive for like 2.5 years, but now I think it's on PC now. Yeah, that's what I was seeing from when I just looked it up. It said it was coming to PC here pretty quick, it looks like. I don't know if it's been released necessarily, though, just yet. Because it released in 2017, is what it's saying. So yeah, we'll see. It doesn't look like I'll be able to play it on Xbox for sure. So it'll have to be PC or PlayStation. I don't know if I'm ever going to get a PlayStation. I used to play PlayStation 2. And that was one thing I played. Played a lot. That was the good old days. Was PlayStation 2 was a good one. I ended up selling it because I was tight on cash after I got married. We sold it at a yard sale. It went to a good cause. The family had just stopped being homeless. They had just gotten a place, and so I sold them the PS2 for like $20, I think. And then I think we sent or sold them I think we gave them the TV for free, honestly, because it was one of those old box TVs, you know. Sony is money hungry with exclusives. Yeah, it seems like they had a lot of the exclusives for sure. And then Xbox bought out, I think it was Bethesda that Xbox bought out. So Xbox kind of was making up for that, but they're still way behind for sure. And if Xbox is going to recover, they've got a bit of catching up to do. It's kind of like with Marvel and DC right now. Marvel is way ahead of the curve, and they're already on to their fourth Avengers movie. They're working on phase 4 already, I think. And DC still hasn't even made a decent single Justice League movie, which I'm hoping will get turned around here pretty quick with the new Batman coming out and all of that's going on. So yeah, I think that'll be good. We'll see how it goes. I like DC a lot, merely for the fact that they have more speedsters. Now, I shouldn't say a whole lot because I hear that Quicksilver may or may not be coming back with WandaVision. I don't know if that's true or not. It seems like I'm seeing TikTok spoilers. I haven't watched WandaVision yet. Probably will soon. Hopefully. Okay. So now with this at about the level it's at, this is where I need to start putting the green on. And the green, the dark browns, and kind of our colors. I'm on a PS4 and want to get a PS5. I hope Xbox gets some exclusives though from Bethesda. Yeah, that's what I was hearing would happen. I'm not holding my breath too much. I would be excited to see Xbox Infinity actually come out, for sure. I'm ready for that one or the Halo Infinity, excuse me. I just called it Xbox Infinity. But Halo Infinity is something that I definitely think they're sleeping on right now. And they need to be pushing that to production as soon as possible. Because they are kind of falling behind with everything else that is going out. Just in my humble, unprofessional opinion. I really do think they're missing out a lot on what could be if they would just hurry up. Part of my issue with like the Xbox One or the new Xbox Series X and the PS5 is all the flipping scalpers. Like, that's bugging the snot out of me right now, because people who actually want it can't get these games and get these consoles right now. Stinking because people are going and buying them all up and making it just dang near impossible to find them. So, well, I guess it kind of is what it is. They're definitely missing out. From what I heard, Xbox is the stronger console. It's just they aren't marketing very well. I barely even knew when the Xbox released. Right, yeah, and that's kind of part of the problem, because if I had known, like, the day of that it was to be released, I probably would have been there, one of those people, like, waiting to just click the button and purchase it. But you're absolutely right, they're not marketing it enough. I think part of the problem is because of how delayed they are on the new Halo game. Xbox doesn't really have any exclusives yet to stand on until all the Bethesda stuff gets worked out, which I know they bought out Bethesda, I think is what I was hearing. But for sure. There's a special place in hell for console scalpers. I would say there's a special place in hell for all scalpers, because I've actually not fallen victim, I guess I should say. I am a consumer in another industry that's fallen victim to scalpers. And that, believe it or not, is actually Legos are falling victim to scalpers right now a lot with the Lego 501st Battle Packs. Now, a lot of people who watch my TikToks are going to be like, oh, that's fresh coming from you because you've got a whole bunch of them. And I'm like, yeah, I do have a whole bunch of them, but I bought them for me. Like, I'm not gonna resell them unless I need to for food, because that's happened to me before. But let me put it this way: it's not looking like I'm gonna have to resell those for food right now. Hopefully, I pray that day does not come. But if it does, heaven help me, because I am gonna look like such a hypocrite. Because I am definitely gonna sell them for as much as I possibly can. here I am sitting like, don't be a scalper. Ugh, that's terrible. Anyway. Nah, I'm sure it'll be alright. Well, and I think one of my biggest problems is they're not even asking reasonable prices for them. Like, if you sold them for maybe $100 more, there you go, you're getting a little bit of a profit, and you're not totally messing up everyone else. But these guys are buying them all up and then selling them for, you know, $2,000 a pop or $1,500 a pop, and that's just wrong. That's just way wrong. I can't stand that. I don't know if there are more of these. If there are, that would be good. And then I need a lot more of these, the translucent pieces, so I can fill in the water spots. But this will be good. So I'm going to have a little bit of a weapons cache here, command center here. Then I need to fill these spots in. What I'm thinking is, let me see, that one kind of fits better. Wonder if I did that. I'm working for a bit of money, and my birthday is in May. I'm hoping I can use my money and my birthday money to get a PS5, and hopefully the scalpers will die down by then. I hope so too, because I know it's just been atrocious right now. And that's awesome that your birthday's in May, because mine is actually also in May. Mine is May 10th, so that's pretty cool. And I don't mind telling you guys that it's not a security problem, because I don't use that in any of my passwords, so haha. So yeah, my birthday's also in May, so that's kind of cool that we're kind of close in birthdays. That's good that you're working though. I always think that it's good for the next generation to be working. And I also think that everyone needs to do their time in a retail or fast food position, because if everyone did just maybe a summer of working in a retail or fast food position or something like that, Karens would like cease to exist in my mind. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I hope it is. I don't know. What the heck happened here? I don't know. I'm questioning the sanity of whoever built this Aquaman Lego set that I'm disassembling. Because, like, the pieces anyway. Wow, it's disassembled now. Haha. I haven't been working actual jobs, more like cleaning up